Has anybody told you that you're perfect? Has anybody told you that you're worth it? If they haven't, baby, I apologize for them. I apologize for them. Let me know that you got my flowers. Been sitting alone for hours. Somehow can't get you off my mind. Before you fall asleep, I'ma ring your doorbell. Throw a rock at your window, calm down. Just have to.
What's up, guys? This is Brandy. Welcome to Brandy Wise World. Today's video is going to be about forgiveness. And I have a worksheet here that we're going to read out. And I've wrote some things down. And I told you guys that we were going to be doing videos about self-improvement and letting go of things that are no good for us. So today's video is about forgiveness. So let's get into it. So with that being said and done, guys, let me backtrack. I'm moving too fast because I'm a little nervous. My lighting, you probably can't really see it, but my lighting is blue because blue means calmness, blue means peace. And so I kind of wanted to bring peace into this video and calmness. And with that being said, let's get into it. So that's why you can probably see shadows of blue. I have on a blue shirt. And let's get into it. So a lot of times, often, guys, we tend to not forgive people because we think sometimes if we have this hard shell that it's not giving people our power. But when we don't forgive someone, not for them but for ourselves, it's giving a person power. So I've been told this a lot of times, but I often have not really understood it because I'm stuck on the fact that, oh, this person hurt me, I don't care, I don't want to give another chance, it is what it is. And just holding that grudge or holding it in what this person did to me and not letting go of it. And I've carried that a lot of years throughout my life. And I actually ran across, when I was doing this book, this self-improvement book that I have, I ran across this worksheet. I know you guys can't see it, but I just wanted to show you guys the book. I ran across on a website this worksheet that explains forgiveness. And this is what we're going to be doing today. This is what we're going to be working on. And I'm going to read off to you some of the things that it says on this worksheet. So with that being said, let's get into it. It's called a forgiveness information sheet. And it says forgiveness is a process where someone who has been wronged chooses to let go of their resentment and treat the wrongdoer with compassion. Guys, I know that's hard to do. Like, I've been I always labeled myself as a misunderstood person, but I am a very compassionate person as well. And sometimes I can be compassionate to a default. Sometimes it can hurt me. So you know, this informational sheet was very helpful to me. It allowed me to let go of some things that have been holding me back in life. And so that's what I wanted to say about that. But moving along, let's read what else it says. It says deepening understanding of forgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting or condoning the wrongdoing, granting legal mercy, or reconciling a relationship. You can forgive a person while in no way believing that their actions were acceptable or justified. That right there meant a lot to me when that was on this worksheet, because of the simple fact is that it's like a lot of people come across me, and if I love them, I will accept their behaviors. And it's not okay for me to accept their behaviors, because you can't accept somebody's behavior when they mean what they're doing. But you can forgive them so that they won't have power over you. So that right there explained it to me, because I have a lot of people that always, you know, coach me and tell me positive things and tell me positive stuff and the way of living, but sometimes it's hard hearing it from your loved ones and people around you that truly care for you, because you feel like, oh, they just saying something. And not everybody, but you know, sometimes you don't want to listen to a person because you're stubborn, and I am a stubborn person. So reading this and also hearing some of the things that my loved ones and friends and people that are close to me have said, and it was the same exact thing, opened up my eyes to make me realize that everybody can't be telling the same lie. It has to be some truth in that. So that helped me, and I hope it helps someone else. Now it says, on to the next paragraph. It says, on the other hand, simply saying the words "I forgive you" or accepting an apology is not forgiveness. In fact, forgiveness can occur without even speaking to the wrongdoer. Forgiveness is an emotional change that occurs within the person who has been wronged. So, you know, that right there taught me that you don't always got to tell a person what they did to you, because they know what they did to you. And that's not for you to change. You can't change anything that a person don't want to be changed. You know, you have to just work on yourself. So that right there taught me something, like, as long as I forgive in my heart, and as long as I don't hold on to it on my heart, I still have my power, I still have my strength, and I still won't have energy subtracting from me. So, with that being said, let's move on to the next paragraph. With forgiveness is what forgiveness is: the decision to overcome pain that was inflicted by another person. Letting go of anger, resentment, shame, and other emotions associated with an injustice, even though they are reasonable feelings. Treating the offender with compassion, even though they are not entitled to it. That's what forgiveness is. What forgiveness isn't is next. Reconciling, repairing, or returning to a relationship. That means if your friend takes something from you, you can forgive them for you. You can forgive them so they don't have power over you, but you don't forget it. And I know you guys know this, but maybe it's somebody out there that want to hear this. Maybe it's somebody out there that needs to hear this because they lost their way. So that pretty much means when someone wrongs you, you don't have to be their friend. You don't have to reconcile the relationship. You just have to simply forgive them for you so they don't have power over you. Forgetting the injustice. That means a lot of times us people, especially with people that we love, especially in toxic situations, you know, when you're too deep into something, you want to forget what they did. And when you forget what a person did, that leaves room for the person to do it again. You can't forget what that person did, because when that person did that, that was that person's true face. So you have to always remember that. You can't forget it. You don't have to be bitter. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to be any of those things. But you can't forget what they did, because forgetting what they did is excusing their behavior. Condoning or excusing the offender's behavior. That's not going to help someone if you're condoning or excusing their behavior. It's not going to help them at all. So we have to learn to just let go and let people make their own mistakes. This means not only for relationships, it means our kids. It means, and I'm talking, when I say our kids, it means like say for instance, you've raised your child the best way that you can, and they've chose to go out and live a different way that you raised them. You can't condone that. You can't excuse it, and you can't forgive it. You have to sit in that, and you got to stand on that they're wrong for that, and that is not right to forgive that, because that is only hurting the person. Granting legal mercy to the offender. Letting go, but wishing for revenge. I'm going to tell the truth. It's one certain situation that I'm not really ready to open up about. It happened when I was young. It was a relationship. But after reading this and seeing this, I learned to let go. I learned after 10 years old that I can forgive the first person that hurt me in my life when I read this. And yeah, I forgive him. I forgive him for everything that he done, and understanding that it is okay for me to forgive him and not live in that hurt and that pain, because that was my first love. And I forgive him. I don't wish no ill on him anymore. I don't have negative, like, I just don't have anything. Like, I don't have anything else to give him. And this is the hardest one, because if you're human and you have feelings, it's hard to say that. But if I tell myself, and I don't want to contradict to say and go back up to forgetting the injustice, but I forgive him because that's what I have to do, and that's the best thing to do. And he no longer has power over me. He no longer can trigger me, or I see someone that reminds me of him and it can offset me. No longer. So yes, I honestly, truly, and genuinely forgive him. Letting go as of today. So that's all of that. And the 4 phases of forgiveness. Guys, I want you to, if you can, like, maybe before I step into this, I'm gonna say this, because I felt like when I Google searched, I thought, well, a light is just a light, but this blue light that I have over me, it is like I feel the weight lifting off of me. And I want you guys to go out, and I want you guys to get you a blue light. You don't have to get on camera and show it to everybody. I'm just doing this because I know that I'm strong enough to do it. But I want you guys to get you a blue light, and I want you to say these things to yourself. I want you to try to write down and catch what I'm saying, or watch my video and say it and see if it helps you. If it helps you, comment down below, because it's helping me right now. And I hope with it helping myself that I'm helping someone else. So moving along, because I don't want this to be too long, it says the 4 phases of forgiveness. Number 1, the uncovering phase. During the first phase of forgiveness, you will improve your understanding of the injustice and how it has impacted your life. So I want y'all to keep that in mind as you're forgiving. 2, the decision phase. During the second phase, you will gain a deeper understanding of what forgiveness is and make the decision to choose or reject forgiveness as an option. Number 3 is the work phase. During the third phase, you will start to understand the offender in a new way, which will allow positive feelings towards the offender and yourself. And when I said what I said about the hardest phase of letting go, I understand now why I'm able to truly let go and forgive that person. And that's the number 1 thing that has been holding me back in life. The deepening phase. During the final phase of forgiveness, you will further deceive the negative emotion associated with the injustice. You may find meaning in the experiences and recognize ways in which you have grown as a result. Okay, guys, now that we have gotten to the growing stage, I want you guys, this is something that I did. This is mine's right here. I want you guys to grab a notebook and write down 4 things that you forgive. When you write those 4 things down, I want you to dispose of them the best way that you can. So let me read to you guys the 4 things that I have decided to dispose of and forgive of, and we'll end it shortly after this. The first thing that I wrote down is I forgive myself for being too hard on myself. Oftentimes we are hard on ourselves because we know what we did is not acceptable, and we tend to be extra hard on ourselves and blame ourselves instead of blaming those that was responsible. And that to me is a part of the forgetting stage, when you forget what someone did to you and you take that blame on yourself. So just think about that and sit in that. And here's number 2. I forgive everyone who has wronged me. When I say this, I don't have a comment after it, because I forgive it and I'm done and I'm over it, and it no longer has power over me. So my number 3 is I forgive myself for reacting inappropriately when I'm hurt or mad. Sometimes we let our emotions get the best of us. That goes back to giving people too much power over us. So I forgive myself for that as well. And I'm going to be practicing better skills to cope when people are trying to trigger me or trying to take me back into something that I have already forgiven and left and gave to God. So with number 4, I said I forgive everyone who thinks they have or had power over me. For I know I am not forgiving out of weakness. I am forgiving so I can gain my power back. That's what I wrote down. The whole goal is to get your power back. Be self-centered and learn better coping skills than holding on to things and bottling in. When you bottle things in, it's unhealthy. We all want to be healthy, so you have to forgive. Forgiving is a part of living healthy. And when we do that, it's better on us. It's better on our chest. We have more get up and go about ourselves. We have more power. Our brightness and our light shine through. So with that being said and done, I'm going to leave that right there, guys. I want to make sure that if I touched anybody in this video, make sure you guys subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment below. Also, if you like this video and you want me to do more videos like this and share more stuff like this, I want you guys to comment below and subscribe, because that's what's going to keep me motivated to know that I'm touching people out here and I'm making a difference. With that being said and done, I'm going to end the night folding this, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it. And when I'm done folding it, on my way to work tomorrow, I'm going to dispose of it, and I'm going to leave it where it's at. And this is going to now be something that is in my past that I no longer hold on to. Make sure you guys have a good night.